you've maybe just joined us, a few minutes ago we spotted a tiny... Oh, there we go. They're far away still. Just going to sit a little bit. We're going to have to just wait. I just spotted them slightly or briefly. But earlier we saw a white rhino with a tiny little calf, and they're heading their way, or making their way down to the waterhole. So we might need to use the spotlight. It actually doesn't bother rhinos that much. I don't want to sit too close to where they're going to drink. Try to guess the distance just right so we can get close enough to get a good look, but far enough to not bother them. Let's have a look there. I can hear their feet, the footsteps now. They are tiny. Tiny. Can you get them at all? Go a bit left, sorry, I'm just the spotlight. Once they're drinking, there we go. Go right? There we go. How's that baby? Look at that. It's like a little, tiny little suitcase almost. Like Greg said when we drove past him, like a bag of potatoes. Oh, that is very special. I'm going to try and put a little bit of light just now. We've got the benefit of the water, so like the Rhino earlier, we can actually reflect light without bothering them too much. That could be Sacha. Not sure. Looks alright. The little one is being a bit shy. Obviously staying on the other side of Mum, but let's hope. Oh, look at that. Tiny baby. That is something very special to see. Probably weighs about 50 kilograms at this stage, less than the warthog we saw earlier today. Look at that. Closer we can get, huh? Let's try. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Now this little guy, like all other baby animals, is still busy discovering its world. Like adult rhino, it's got very good hearing already, good smell, good sense of smell. But the eyesight's not that great. It's probably only come across a few vehicles only in the last few weeks of its life. This is a very special sighting, very, very special. Station's got that in combi with the tiny Mampimpon at Trias Dam.
Did you get it?
Yeah, that's Ephraim, they just put a Martin.
Yeah, how did you say Mampimpon?
Oh, I don't know, I'm looking at an infrared light mainly. Say around a month, maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more. 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, it's like a warthog. That. Sorry. So let the spotlight movement. Guys, I've only once ever seen a calf smaller than this, and I must say with a closer look now I might even guess less than a month. Maybe 2 to 4 weeks. It's very young still. Just two questions. That's amazing. Question from Valerie. Just asking how vulnerable this little calf would be to predators. Now, it would actually be quite vulnerable. That size, like I said, it's about the size of a warthog. So that means even a leopard, really, if it got the opportunity, would be able to take this quite easily. Actually, a big male leopard would be able to catch that youngster. Oh, it's so relaxed with us as well. Look at the behavior. It's looking around, sniffing the dust. It's probably only been in a warthog a few times in its life. So yeah, they certainly would be potentially vulnerable to predators. Simon, sorry, and I forgot the crux of the question of Lily's question. Just ask again, please. First of all, thank you for all the questions. It's always nice to see people obviously enjoying this. This is a very, very special sighting. As I was saying that I've only once ever seen a calf smaller than that. That was a few days old. Lily's question was just about the squeaking sound. Now, rhinos don't make a lot of noise. They do a bit of a sort of a snorting sound. I'm not going to mimic it now, just because we don't want to disturb them. But they make this sound. It sounds a lot like dolphins, actually, like. Female even listening there. And Lily was just wondering whether that sound is produced by the baby or the adult. I presume you've heard that before on Game Drive. It's not a sound you even hear often on documentaries, just because it's difficult to record. It's only occasionally that you get to hear that. And it's actually a sound that adults can produce as well, but you find it most often with youngsters and mothers, almost like when the young one needs a little bit of attention or a little bit of comforting from mum. And then there's Camilla asking roughly the weight. She's quite a big female. I'd say she's probably about 1.5, 1.7 tons, 1.8 tons maybe. That's about 3,500, 3,800 pounds. That little one, as I said earlier, I would guess it to be about 50 kilograms. It's about 110 pounds. It's still very small. You can see it's got hardly a bump on the nose yet. About the size of mum's foot. Breeze as well. You can hear it probably.